Hallo, Shalom Aleichem, my good friend, my alte friend, Vergeider. So, Rav Yoel, it was an amazing Shabbos. There's a lot of surprise that we cannot talk even here. I didn't know that it's secretive.
Yeah.
And that's why you mentioned on Shabbos, but you know that over 1,000 people listen to your live, so obviously it's not that secret.
No, I mean it's the headlines is not secret, but the Mir Rosh Yeshiva are going to tell you the details when the film comes out.
That's going to be in hashkifu.com.
Hashkifu.com.
Okay, so let's talk about, but you got on this MDY program for how long? We had an interview last year.
Last year I had an interview, and I had such a good time that they invited me again. Honestly, if they wouldn't have invited me again, I probably would have paid my way to come here. Oh. Don't tell them.
But it was amazing all throughout. They gave you a good plot.
Incredible. It was an incredible Shabbos. I think you cannot explain it in words unless you're actually here. To be together with people who learn the Daf HaYomi with their belly, it's a family. It's a family, and you have people from all walks of life. Stramlich, Bekitches, which by the way I feel very heimish with. I'm a Chassidish Yid.
I want to jump into you in a minute.
Yes, Fader Damashkin. And everybody feels so united because nothing unites us like a blood gemuda. That's the fact. So that's what makes it so special.
So let me ask you for a minute. We should do I grabbed you almost with a gun. Yeah. The question is, who's Yoily Gold? I mean, we know each other for many years. Yoeli is a chusid, litvak.
Yeah.
Who's Yoily Gold?
Yoily Gold is a chult. Okay, Yoily Gold is a chult.
MDY?
MDY is a chult. I don't identify myself with a specific sect. I always joke that I grew up in Williamsburg Hasidish. I learned in Litvish yeshivas. I married a Sephardic girl, Syrian, and I was the rabbi for a couple of years in an Hungarian shul. So, from Holocaust survivors from Hungary. I really feel connected to every Yid. I'm a Yid. That's how I identify. Ivri Anochi, and I think that's the way it should be.
The story, what touched me, the story? I mentioned it in another interview with my official.
Yeah.
The story that you're Rosh Yeshiva, it's a longer story. I hope you have it on video somewhere, but this is an amazing story.
That was the first time I shared it, actually. Yeah.
He drove, and we couldn't get what is the punchline? Rav Shmuel Birnbaum is going to tell Paskin like him, then boom, the Levaya.
And
maybe
then
you should mention it now, or
I could give you the Rusha Prokim. I was in Adelphia Yeshiva. I was there for high school. My parents got divorced when I was 11 years old, and I was at a crossroads because I grew up Hasidish. My mother became modern Orthodox. So where do I go? Which school? Which yeshiva? At the time I was struggling, so I went to Adelphia Yeshiva. Adelphia. It's 10 minutes out of Lakewood. Oh. It's a small town. And I got to know Reb David Trenk. He was my Rebbe. Mm-hmm. And he really was one of the people who had a big impact on my life. 4 years I spent there. After 4 years, I applied to Passaic, Yeshiva G'dola, of Meir Stern. And my Rebbe, Reb David Trenk, did not want me to go. He didn't want me to go. He wanted me to stay. And so he decided to take me to Rav Shmuel Birnbaum, the Zakan Rosh Yeshivas at the time. He was in his 80s already. Wow. And he said, take me to Din Torah. Put me in the car. We drove down Route 9 all the way to Flatbush. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Rav Shmuel was coming home for a Seder. And he sees Reb David Trenk, who was his Talmud, and he says, Reb David, what are you doing here? He says, I came with my Talmud, Yoili. I want him to stay in yeshiva. He invites us into the apartment, and we sit down, and my Rebbe begins crying. And he says, please tell Yoili to stay in Adelphia for another year. And Rav Shmuel takes my hand, and he says, tell me why you want to go. I said, Rosh Yeshiva, I think I've grown as much as I can here, and I want to learn, so I'm going to Passaic. He says, if you want to learn Torah, then go. And my Rebbe smiled, and that was it. That was the end of the conversation. We got into the car, we drove back, and we didn't speak about it again. I ended up leaving the yeshiva, went to Passaic, and that was it. Around 20 years later, was when I was 18 years old. So I'm 44 now. My Rebbe passed away 8 years ago. So, 20 years later, my Rebbe passed away. I get a call from the Rebbitzin He passed away, and she wanted me to be maspid him at the Levaya. And I had a flashback. I had a flashback that my Rebbe wanted me to stay. When a person passes away, that's when you take a reckoning. You start reflecting about their lives and your relationship, and you start having your regrets. That's how it goes. Bottom line,
You told her that.
I told her, and she said to me, Yoeli, Rebbe never had an akpad on you. He knew you have to go. It was time to go. You wanted to grow. The reason why he took you to Rav Shmuel is not to try to get Rav Shmuel to tell you to stay, really. He knew what Rav Shmuel was going to say. But he wanted you to know that for the rest of your life, wherever you go, if you encounter challenge or struggle, you have doubts about yourself, you should know that you're worth fighting for.
Wow.
You're worth fighting for.
He knew that back then.
It takes 40 years to be Omer al Das Rabbi. I was Zoich 20 years to chap it. But that's the story. And I tell people, you are worth fighting for. Your growth, your ruchnius, Torah, the Daf HaYomi, and of course our children are worth fighting for as well. So it's to me, it's a powerful story.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I remember the time that we saw Yoel Gold speaker. I don't remember when it was the first video we saw, but it was the flashbacks from Chayde still.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how things turn out to be. You can see when you have. There's an interesting concept. I want to hear your opinion on that. The young generation didn't have so much more information in their head because there's so much more info openly now. But their experience, they don't have. But they feel they have it.
Life wisdom is not, younger generation, it's a lot of Nadishkeit. Their heads are filled with a lot of Nadishkeit.
Also,
I was a Rebbe. I think that anybody who was teaching Torah, first of all, Kol HaKavod, the most important job in the world, is to be a Rebbe, a Mechanech, a Melamed. But the biggest challenge that I had was getting the kids to concentrate. There's so much on their minds. They are bombarded with information.
And there's a competition between so many outlets to get you.
That's right. Everybody is vying for your attention, trying to get you, like you're saying, Rabbi Yoel. And so it's pretty challenging.
I also tried to get the attention of people through my status and stuff. I tried to be the good.
The good influence. Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Well, Hashem, thank you so much.
Okay, my
pleasure.
pleasure.
I got you. And
my pleasure, Rav Yoel. Okay, Atzlacha Rava.
And I guess I'll try to visit you in LA. I hope it's going to be easier.
Okay,
because people are like...
Okay, don't bring the camera. Just come. We'll go ahead.
100%.
Zag eventually.
The whole time.
Okay.